Well, chances are if you're watching this video and you're hearing me speak, that means either A, you just want to see how to do stop motion, B, you want to see how I do my stop motion, or C, you're just kind of bored. Well, there are two ways to execute stop motion, and I'll be explaining the rules. First, you're going to need to know which app to use. Now, personally, you can use any stop motion app, but the one I use, I tested out a few, and so far my favorite, other than the camera, was Stop Motion Studio. A good friend of mine, Jimmy's Awesome Channel, also said that he uses Stop Motion Studio. By the way, check out his videos. Another thing is sometimes I use camera. You know, the ones that's kind of look like the one I'm doing right now, where they're not 100% moving. Kind of like a picture thing. You can use that as a beginner. That's what I used. And sometimes I still use it on my amateur videos. Because the thing about Stop Motion Studio is that when you do it right, it turns out great. Like, it looks good. It feels smooth. And I'll get on the smooth and stop motion topic later. But the problem is audio. And also, sometimes the things that you need to use require money to, to get them all the good filters and the music and the backgrounds. So, yeah. Now back onto the audio. It's hard to execute audio because when you do it wrong, it makes it to where, they go oh, well, dude, you should really know, and blah, blah, blah. It makes it to where they constantly talk over, and and not only does it make the characters look like they have no manners, but it also makes it to where that it doesn't work 100%. It's much easier to use camera, but here's the thing. With Stop Motion Studio, the audio is kind of weird to do, but it's it's better stop motion. But the thing with camera is that it's easy to do audio, but you can't make it to where they constantly move. You can't do 100%, make it to where frame by frame they move without your voice going because it just doesn't work like that. You have to pause it. Unless you want to constantly pause it and say a tiny one word, one letter, every single time they move, and I don't think no one wants to do that. So, here's what I have done. Now let's go on to smooth animation. Smooth animation is stop motion, like Mootroid X Productions or Wyoming Productions. Although the problem with smooth animation is that if you have a good topic, you have good characters, and you have good writing, you won't need smooth stop motion. Now, this bit was inspired by a video that was literally called Why You Don't Need Smooth Animation. So anyways, let's continue. The thing about it is that you can have very smooth animation, bad characters, bad writing, and just bad everything, and I wouldn't watch it. Because it's not the looks that matter. It's the writing, it is the characters, all of that. You have to have good story in order for it to be a good stop motion. Otherwise, it's just sort of you just showing off your smooth animation, and no one really wants to do that. No one wants to watch that. You have to make something that's interesting for the viewers so that they will want to watch it instead of just watch your smooth animation. And the thing about it is that some people will completely depend on smooth animation, and I just want you to know that that's not what is needed. It's, like I said earlier, it might sound like I'm repeating, it's good story. And let's continue with my guide. So, that was sort of, in a way, I just realized that was slightly me rambling. But, so yeah, now it's on to the more guidey parts. So, basically, let's explain what basic stop motion is. It is But if you can watch my other videos to see what I mean by it. But each time the character moves, even a tiny smidge, you will have to take a picture. Now, you should do this on webcams, especially. Or you can do it on Stop Motion Studio, so where it doesn't take up much of your space. And you can also delete some of the frames. And you won't need to edit as much of it. So, yeah. Basically that. And you need to make sure that your character's head movement, their body just doesn't turn all the way. So like I said, each time even one bit of them moves, like it can be the tiniest bit, and you will have to take a picture. Why you should do it on Stop Motion Studio so it doesn't take up much of your space and you have much more time and room to do the stop motion instead of you just having to like take care and like clean your pictures and clean them up. And basically just completely get rid of everything you have on your space. Speaking of webcams, I'm actually gonna do one soon so I can do Let's Plays. Although, if you want to watch my Let's Plays like right now, I do some streams on a Mixer, and it's Quantum G. Sometimes I do Fallout, I do Halo 5, you know, a lot of that. Anyways, let's get back on to stop motion. Sorry if it sounded like I was advertising for myself. And also sorry if I keep on constantly changing voices. You sort of get caught up in it. And yeah, it's pretty hard to use the same voice constantly. Anyways, so yeah, that's a bit of my guide to stop motion. I will be doing a part 2, and I hope you all enjoyed. Just make sure, just one last thing. Make sure that you don't depend on smooth animation. Like, make sure that if you have good story, good characters, but not smooth animation, don't go like, oh no, this is a bad stop motion. I'm not going to release this. People won't like it. Just release it. And if they don't like it, and if they have constructive criticism, then you should take it. That's what I have learned on my journey on YouTube. And also, like I said, be always open to criticism. Some people that may be expert stop motion makers can actually give you some good tips. Also, don't be afraid to ask people for help and voices. You don't want your female character to sound the exact same as your male character. So yeah, that was my part 1 on my guide to stop motion, and I hope all of you enjoyed, even the tiny little kitties. That's an Ungoy's guide to stop motion. I will be staying unknown, stay anonymous, or how I like to say it, stay unknown. Goodbye!